Influencer marketing. That's only for B2C, right? My guest today is going to destroy that myth. And then he is going to give us 6 tips that B2B brands can use to use influencer marketing. But before we get started, my name is Donna Peterson, and you're listening to the B2B Marketing Excellence Podcast, where I go around the world. I speak to business leaders about their industry, about marketing, what's working, what's not, and then what do they see for the future. Today, my guest is Niklas Hartmann. He is the Managing Director of Reachon. I'm so excited about our conversation today. I've got my pad and my pen ready to jot down notes. So let's get started. Good morning, Niklas. How are you?
I'm fine, and I'm really excited to be here and share my insights so people can learn how to use influencer marketing for B2B companies as well.
Oh, as I mentioned before, I'm excited because I do have some clients who are starting to think about it. We've talked about it, but I'm not an expert in this area, and that's why I need to hear what you have to say.
And just a heads up, we will definitely give some great tips that people can use to help their companies and increase their revenue as well.
Great. That's what we all need, right?
Yeah, sure. If you don't increase your revenue, you're literally, yeah, I would use the F word, but it's not really the best way here for this podcast. So
but you're right. You're kind of, you're out there if you're not. So the first thing I wanted to bring up is I am a big proponent on relationship building, which that has changed a lot, I feel, since COVID, that B2B brands are starting to concentrate on building those relationships with prospects, with customers, but also even with their employees. And I'm wondering, can you use influencer marketing to help build those relationships?
definitely. If you also mentioned employees, so one of the best tips to start is to help your employees become influencers, because they're already working for your company. They are proponents. They really enjoy, hopefully, if you do a good job, they enjoy working for and with you. And so many people already have a LinkedIn profile, and some people, they share their thoughts, their insights, their practices with. So this is definitely a good starting point. Get a feel for how professional or how many followers they have, so you can get started and get the first campaigns started. Yeah.
Excellent. And that's interesting because we've just started that within World Innovators, having our employees say things about World Innovators, but even on their personal accounts. And I'm not dictating what they say. I'm just giving them the go ahead to do it because they've worked with me for a while. So they really know our feel here of what we're trying to do. So I'm excited to see how that works out.
Yeah, and I think this personal approach is so much more better than just like if you're seeing a company brand or just a logo and you're thinking, oh, hey, who writes this content? Who was personally responsible for it? Obviously, you can check the managing director, but if you see a picture and you see, hey, this is Helen, or this is Karen, or this is John, and he's responsible for marketing, for sales at this company, you immediately forge a closer bond. And I think this is really the most crucial part of B2B influencer marketing, that you don't just have like some content you read or view, you start a relationship process.
Yeah, you're just authentic on who you are versus, like you said, that generic messaging that for years was marketing. And that's where I feel brands have to evolve now in order to survive in the future.
For sure. If we see the biggest brands or accounts, most of them are not like company accounts or like some kind of enterprise. It's really a personal relationship. You have like the biggest stars or the biggest professionals. Even if we think about like not like a singer or an actress or actor. Even if we think like about authors or entrepreneurs who have like millions of followers in the US, a LinkedIn profile where they can reach hundreds, if not thousands, of
Right.
decision makers. This is really crucial because for B2B marketing, it's not just like, hey, we would like to promote our product. You want to reach decision makers. You want to reach the people responsible for the budget, for sales decisions. So with
Yep.
these entrepreneurs, you can definitely get started. And I think this is really crucial for business and entrepreneurial teams alike.
Right. Yeah. It's no longer talking about you or your company. It's talking about what they need. And that's what's important today. So I've heard the term brand ambassador, influencer marketer. What is the difference, or is there a difference between those two terms?
Well, I would say brand ambassador is someone like who represents the brand on their social media account. If we like refer to influencer marketing in general, and an influencer marketer is someone who realizes the influencer marketing campaign, who really is not like the face in front of
Okay.
of the whole campaigns, but rather the person with the marketing knowledge who researches influencers meticulously and decides who they would like to work, who they would like to collaborate with, and analyze all insights, all available statistics. So I think this is the kind of difference you can.
So I think I get that. So your influencer marketer is still someone on the outside who is talking about your brand.
Correct.
Versus a brand ambassador might be someone in-house who's talking about your brand.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then again, like we were just talking about, when someone else talks about your brand, they have a tendency to listen more. It's like with my children, I might tell my children to do one thing, but they may not do it. Somebody else comes along and tells them to do it, and they do it. And it's like, wait a minute, I just told you to do this. So
I think it's like, obviously you will talk more positively about your brand or in a particular way than if you have like someone who might know your brand or who has a personal relationship with someone else, so he can influence the person in another way than you, because obviously you're like, you have a particular image you want to uphold, and you have an image you portray to others as well. And if you have someone else who is an expert in their field, who has some kind of like status, not, I don't want to say like you don't, as an entrepreneur, you don't have status and expertise as well, but it's a different thing if you have someone else talking about you positively than just doing it yourself.
Yeah, great. That's exactly what, B2B brands need right now. So that being said, you mentioned you had 6 tips for us on how B2B brands can utilize influencer marketing. So would you like to share those with us, please?
Yeah, sure. So the first tip for sure is like, you should never just approach like 2 or 5 or 10 influencers. So you have a good starting point. If you have like maybe 50 or 70 influencers, I would say for sure the research is so important, so crucial to realizing a successful influencer campaign. Without having dozens of influencers where you can choose from, where you can pick, hey, this one is good, this one is great. You will always choose, I wouldn't say a low quality one, but someone maybe who demands more money than you should pay, or has some kind of disadvantage that you right now don't see. So this is definitely something you should consider before even starting the influencer marketing campaign. How many influencers will I research, and also the whole strategic process in advance, because after you hired the influencer, you cannot change thing. So you first have to become aware of what you want to
Right.
achieve, like, and what can you offer. The offer,
Right.
as you said, you want to fix a problem for a client or for a prospective client. So what can you offer is like a white paper that helps people
Right.
improve something for their business, a webinar. I wouldn't promote.
I have a live training going on for manufacturers right now. So I have some people out there talking about it, but also giving tips on how manufacturers can improve their marketing. But then, yes, the call to action or the offer is come to the complimentary live training where you can ask your own individual questions. So yes, I can understand why the offer is so important to get that person kind of to go to that next level.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like, as you said, it's like a customer journey and not like a customer destination.
Yeah.
And I think this, furthermore, you not only have to consider like the influencer as well, but also what, as we talked in advance, what you want to promote and what kind of values or ideas your company stands for. So
Yes.
you told me in advance, hey, we cannot have an influencer who uses offensive language,
Yes.
or someone
Yeah.
some say, hey, you have to pronounce our brand in a particular way. This is perfect to how you asked me about the pronunciation in advance.
Of your company name. I wanted to make sure.
And it's good. It's really, really, really empathetic. And I think these are kind of thoughts you have to consider, you have to ponder in advance, because you want to send them a briefing, you want to send them some information. These are the do's and don'ts. And without clearly considering having a meeting about the most crucial aspects, it's not possible to really develop a strategy and not just, hey, promote something and we are happy. You need to have a strategy in mind before you start even thinking about approaching an influencer. So this is the second important point for sure.
Strategy is important. And when I go into companies and I'm helping them with their business growth, one of the first things I say is, what is your mission statement? What are your values? And a lot of companies maybe don't have it, or if they have it, it's extremely old. And then I said, is every employee, consultant, anyone who is talking about your brand aware of the mission and the values? And that goes back to what you were just saying. If you start working with an influencer, they have to know, what is your company mission? What are your values? And what is the strategy going forward? And that's really with all marketing, because if you don't bring it in from all the different channels, one person's going this way, the other one's going that way, and no one is heading in that direct path towards your goals. So I can see why strategy is so very important.
And I think what you're saying is really vital as well, because you should not only do it for influencer marketing, but for all your marketing methods combined. Because I wrote like a week ago an article about how you can combine content marketing with search, with SEO and influencer marketing. And I just, like maybe 5 or 6 hours ago, saw a post on LinkedIn where someone used influencer marketing to push their company to the first spot on Google, just by doing great work with influencer marketing, because all people searched for the term and they clicked on the link for this specific company, and they had a click-through rate of 70%.
Wow. Oh my
Just
goodness.
by combining influencer marketing with SEO. So strategy and not only thinking, hey, what is my strategy for influencer marketing, but also how can I create synergies between influencer marketing, SEO, and content marketing? Because a webinar or white paper is typically a part of content marketing, and promoting it with influencer marketing. And combining all these different or distinct topics is really crucial to not only push your company like a centimeter forward, but a meter or a kilometer.
Right. But it
Or a
also,
mile.
but it gives them the whole picture. It gives them that nice whole picture of your brand versus just maybe one section of it. And I always say marketing is like a puzzle, and we're all trying to put all the right pieces together to get that beautiful picture. And sometimes with marketing, as we know, that puzzle then falls on the floor and we have to put it all back together. But that's what makes marketing so interesting.
Yeah, and
Good.
you also think creatively, and not only you can't use the same approach for every single company,
No.
because all have different foundations,
Yes.
skill sets, and this is really what makes marketing so great, because you always have to think in another direction how you can help this company improve, and this is really what I find personally exciting.
It is, and it's funny you just brought that up, because people say, "Oh, well, they're competitors," but to me, I almost feel that you don't have a competitor really. Like maybe you manufacture the same product, but the company's mission or how the company is set up is unique. And that's where influencer marketing could come into play, because it needs to show the brand's uniqueness so that they stand out from their competition.
I agree. And if we think back to the resources that a company has, for example, let's take your company example.
Yeah.
You have a podcast, and you invite some guests who have a particular skill set or expertise on something, and you can create a win-win situation as well. For example, many companies probably think, hey, I have to invest like gazillions of dollars into influencer marketing until I see an effect. But I've realized many campaigns where we didn't pay a single dollar for the influence at all.
Wow.
I just said, hey, you can promote your company in this podcast. In return, we would like a LinkedIn post on regarding the podcast appearance of yourself, and these are the kinds of collaborations I would recommend if you don't have like the biggest budget available, for sure. So this is really a tip, because as you said, we can create a collaboration that doesn't
it's beneficial for both.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a win-win, so everyone wants to do it. And it also just, like I said, it gives it gives more marketing more of a wholesome feel. You know, we're not just bombarding them with a message. We're creating a whole, I don't want to say picture, but we're giving them the full value of the brand.
Or maybe like the whole world, even like the world with content marketing, with webinars, with like your expertise, then with different ideas, thoughts, insights. It's not like in your company you only have like one mindset or like one person who just directs everything. You have different ideas, thoughts, and I think this really has to come across when you realize or implement a campaign as well.
And that makes sense. Okay, so I think we're up to tip 2. 1 was research, 2 was strategy. Are we up to 3?
We 3 is like the win-win situation, that you don't have to use a big budget or lots of money to realize a campaign.
Okay, great. So then we're up to tip 4. As you can tell, everyone, you can't see it. I'm intently writing my list of tips so that we can get this implemented for ourselves.
So for tip 4, I would definitely recommend to really not focus only on influencer marketing, but if you pay money for an influencer, you realize package deals. So many experts or like people who have a huge amount of followers in their field do not just only have like a LinkedIn profile, they have a website, they have many newsletter subscribers, and you can realize package deals. For example, you can say, hey, I don't only want to pay you for writing a post on my company on LinkedIn. If you have a CEO department, you can say, hey, I want a package deal. I will hire you for a LinkedIn post, and I want to work with you for a guest article, sponsored article, newsletter promotion as well. And if you have many employees with many departments, this is one way for sure where you can save money and reduce your marketing costs.
Excellent. That's an excellent point. I do the same when it comes to an email list or a banner. And sometimes it's social media posts where we combine it all together, because one-off promotions don't work anymore. You and I were talking about that. People sometimes are in a rush to get something out there, or their budget is so tight they can only do one thing. And what you have to watch out for is people are just so busy, and they're being bombarded with marketing messages, that it's important to have your message out there. What a package deal can give you is your messages out there in different spots, almost as a reminder to them. Hey, here's the brand Reachon. They're great at influencer marketing. And it reminds you, especially if you're a B2B brand just starting to look into this area, you're like, oh yeah, I heard that podcast. Oh yeah, there's their LinkedIn post. Oh, here's, then they realize this is a brand that is a thought leader in the space. I need to contact them.
That's true. And I've had the same situation happen like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Someone heard like 2 podcast episodes about influencer marketing, where I appeared, and she also read my book and sent me a LinkedIn request. And this was how we really started our conversation and
Nice.
how we work together. And I think
congratulations.
This is yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And this is really interesting, because you, as you said, you forge, I wouldn't even say build, you forge a close relationship with them. And
yeah,
it's always better to have like 5 clients with a mutual beneficial relationship where you can rely on each other, than having like thousands, and it's like an adequate relationship but not really something that makes it's special. You know what I mean? So
yes, it goes back to relationship marketing or relationship building, because you build a relationship with these people. It's not just transactional, or it's not just about the price. It's because you have a commonality. You understand each other. You're both going to help each other grow. And I know in our 42 years, a lot of our customers have been with us for more than 15 years. And that's because we show them we care. We build those relationships so they stay with you. And like you just said, if you don't build those relationships, it's almost as if every year you're building again, trying to get new customers. Yeah. And that's exhausting, because then you kind of have a sales cycle that's like that, where you can never plan, because you really want your sales cycle to be, going up each time.
And I also think if you work with people in general, maybe it starts out like, as you said, as this transactional relationship, but that should definitely be the starting point. And these just some polite, if you write emails in a certain way, I realized this, just some polite words at the beginning and in the end, it's really incredible. I didn't believe it myself for the first times, how much it changed the whole process, how much it changed how you spoke to each other, how you negotiated. Because just wishing, starting the email with, I hope you've had a great day, I wish you an awesome afternoon or delightful afternoon, I don't know. Just doing this, and it's incredible how welcome, or how awesome people react to you, and how much you can design, or how much you can influence the negotiation in a way where a company benefits, for sure.
I agree with that. obviously I've been working longer than you. And if you don't add in that personal side and show emotion, work can become very mundane. Where if you show people you care, and I have to laugh because my LinkedIn Live next week is all about say thank you. I've gotten written thank you notes that I've kept for a while because the people took the effort to actually write it out and send. And it really touched me that they did that. And so a thank you goes a long way. The only thing I always like to say is be authentic, though. Don't say thank you if you don't mean it. You got to mean it, and people will sense it when you mean it.
That's true for sure. And I had the situation like with one of our best clients this year, and I felt like I would like to hug them so tightly because they helped us so much, and we helped them so much this year as well. And we really built not only a great business but also personal relationship.
Yes.
And I was really I haven't even met the woman responsible like in real life, just via email or Google Meetup. And I was, and she told me, hey, I'm sorry to tell you, I leave the company in December, and in January there's someone else responsible. And it was really, really sad. Really, I was really mourning and got some kind of grieving because it was so it was such a good personal relationship. And I don't know how to say that, but it's really it makes work so much better if you build these relationships.
It really does. And I think it's when people have to realize it's not just about making a sale. You've got to care. And we're going through this life. Let's make it as enjoyable as possible and just be kind to each other. And when we're kind to each other, it just, like you said, it makes it more enjoyable. And what you'll see is, and what we've seen a lot, is when people leave one company, they end up bringing us to their next company or something else open. I'm a big proponent of one door closes, another door opens. So I always say, okay, this is great. That was good for a while. Let's see what's next. Let's see what's in that next door.
That's true. And even you can, even if they leave to a new company, as you said, you can, if you build a good relationship, you can not only sell to the former company, but to the new one as well. And even if you like don't pay much for client acquisition, if you build these incredible relationships, you don't have to pay much because you build the best possible resource ever, and this is a personal relationship with someone.
Yeah. For a while, people would say, Donna, where do you get most of your business? And I had to say referrals. Because, we're such an established brand and we've been in the market for so long that a lot of people know us, especially in my wheelhouse of, industrial auctions or executive education, they know of me. But it's just interesting when people take you to another company with them, it kind of warms your heart that you touched them enough that they brought you with them.
That's true. And for my father, I told you he has a company as well. And before he started his company, he worked like for several companies, and there were some clients who were always going with him. So like he had like 8 to 10 clients, and one client I immediately remember, he has worked with him like 25 or 30 years.
Wow.
And this is such a close relationship. They're visiting each other. They're going to they go to the restaurant together if they have like a meeting or stuff like that. And I think these kind of relationships do not only make your business better, but also like
your
the
life.
whole life. Yeah.
Well, because then now we're really going to go off topic, but people feel more valued and you won't have that burnout because you're enjoying what you're doing because it's not just a working relationship. It's so much more. And you start to care about the people. How is their family? How is their vacation? And it really adds. But we've gotten way off course here.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do another talk on relationship marketing, but I think in at a core level, building relationships is important for influencer marketing as well,
Yeah.
because as you said, it's not only it can be beneficial, but it's even more beneficial if you work with influencers long term, on a long term basis. So you should also put some effort into building long-term relationships with influencers, because first and foremost, you can get better prices if you work on a long-term basis. People trust you more, and the followers of the influencer trust you more as well, because
You see it over and over and over. Yeah.
Over and over again. It's not like, hey, she was sure she was paid once for doing this, and she doesn't even like the product or service. If she continues promoting it, it definitely changes how people respond to it, because some people might buy when she promotes it the first time, but others are more more concerned, or ponder more often how authentic, as you said, collaboration really is. So keep that in mind as well.
That's a good point. You know, if you stick with them long term, plus with any marketing, if you do it for a period of time, that's where it can grow. And the influencer gets to understand the brand even more each time, so that I'm sure those posts get to be more developed and have more meaning to it, which then would get more people attracted and then buy.
And I think that's important. But another point which is also important as well is that you can work with influencers are beneficial for your company, because you pick some, you lose some. That's definitely true for influencer marketing as well. And I'm gonna be frank here, because it's definitely the truth. There are some campaigns that fail, that you won't see any effect at all, and some campaigns that work really well, and you rub your eyes because you can't believe how successful the collaboration was. And it doesn't even have to be, as I told you before, it doesn't really have to be the biggest or baddest influencer available. Even a small influencer with the proper niche can help you for sure. And so if you have found an influencer who performs well, you should definitely think about a long-term collaboration.
Yeah, that would make sense. Okay, I think that's your 6 tips for us.
Sure.
So then my last question for you is, can all size companies use influencer marketing?
Sure. So I think all companies can do it, but I also think that companies with a smaller budget or a smaller team have to continue doing it for several months before they see effects. So
okay.
I think the budget plays a role for sure, but if you have like $10,000 available per month, you obviously see better results over a long-term basis. And if you have like $600 available, you can do like one collaboration.
Yeah.
So if the first doesn't work out, you shouldn't be disappointed. You should try with the next one. It's like with everything you start. It's not like you don't see like incredible results with the first campaign. No. It's a process.
You can always get something, you get some type of information out of it, because I feel you can learn from your failures that will help you grow into the future. Because not everything we've done here for 42 years has worked out. Trust me. There's a lot of things that did flop, but we learned from it.
Yeah, I think that's important for anyone in every single area of life, that you
Really.
focus on what you can improve. And I think before you start your campaign, get some insights into how they work, find out who has posted in the past about your topic, about things you're interested in, about things your clients are interested in. These are the partners you want to work with, and then you can get started. But sure, think carefully about who you hire for your campaign, because if you don't, the campaign will flop for sure. So this is really I cannot emphasize it enough. This is really the most important point of influencer marketing campaigns. Analyze who you would like to work with, because if you choose the wrong person, your campaign will definitely flop.
Okay, good. Well, I want to thank you so much for talking with me today. And what I'll do for our listeners is I will put Niklas's details in the show notes so that you can reach out to him if you have any questions about influencer marketing, how it can help your B2B brand, or if we have a B2C person, I'm sure he'd be happy to help you out. So Niklas, thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thank you so much as well. And also your interesting and illuminating questions. It really helped me to think about influencer marketing from a new or a layman's or lay people's perspective. And I think this is important, because otherwise you're always thinking like in the same manner, and this is not good at all.
Yeah, well, great. That is wonderful. You have a lovely weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the B2B Marketing Excellence Podcast. Please hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss our next episode. And in the meantime, if you'd like to talk to me, please feel free to send me an email to dpeterson@worldinnovators.com. Till next time, have a great day.